Throw a few grams of some purple flowers on my coffin. I never turn up on the fam no matter what they offer.
Ew.
Just tell the twins not to cry, just tell them to relax. I'll be waiting where grandmama at with Nat and Uncle Fat. Before I be a buster, I'd rather be like my big brother locked in handcuffs and ain't nobody got to send me nothing.
Webster Grady Jr., aka Lil Webbie, born September 6, 1985. Today's feature is a rapper from the early 2000s that had everything you'd want a street/gangsta rapper to have. He had real-life experience in all things street, from growing up in the ghetto, losing family members at an early age, leading to lack of guidance, prison, you name it, and Webbie can give you a long-winded, through the woods to grandma's house, back to the point story about it. Fans immediately took to Lil Webbie back in 2005 because he was relatable and wore his intentions on his shoulders, or what some would call real to a fault. Good or bad, he seemed to always be himself and speak his mind, and humble enough to allow himself to be embraced and championed by the people. You've heard the term the people's champ before. Lil Webbie and guys like Lil Boosie are those as rappers. Webbie was also very talented. His music didn't always get the credit for being the most lyrical or the bar for what rapping should traditionally sound like, but for his fans and the market he's pushed to, they understood it and allowed him to be himself, as long as he always kept it real about the situations the urban community can relate to. You know you want it, girl, don't act like you don't want it, girl, I want it just as bad as you do. From that opening line to his song Gimme That, one of his biggest songs of all time and first official single, he came in honest and open about the intentions of many men approaching an attractive lady, yet they beat around the fence using whatever they can say to get what they want, and in the long run the dishonesty ruins relationships on both sides. Because like he said, women may want the same, but put on whatever front they have to so you consider them long term and not just a quick visit and never call again. Girl, don't hold it from me, cause right now I'd be done strong-armed it. A line that wouldn't play too well in today's climate, but again, real to a fault. Webbie's charisma was like the engine that moved his career. You can't find a person that listens to rap music who has a problem with Lil Webbie. Reminds me of Soulja Slim in that way, in that people just liked and appreciate when someone, especially a person who's had success, can still outwardly be themselves, seeing as many people hide behind different shields every day of who they want you to think they are. Lil Webbie has been in the game since 2005 and has 6 albums in that span, from Savage Life 1 all the way to 6 of the same name. None of them has lived up to sales expectations or helped Webbie meet his expectations as an artist, causing many to ask the questions, what happened to Lil Webbie? Why isn't he a bigger rapper? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Lil Webbie is a rapper from Baton Rouge, Louisiana that knew at a young age school and the straight and narrow path wasn't for him. He wanted to be a rap star. Since 5, he's been honing his writing craft and preparing for his big shot in music. He lost his mother, who introduced him to music at 9 years old from cancer, leaving him to be raised by his father and grandmother. He signed with local Get Money boys that helped push his career at just 11 years old. At 15, he remembers being in the neighborhood one day and his friends encouraging him to rap. When he did and got everyone's approval, he made the decision that day that rap could be more than just a hobby or a pipe dream. He told his father he was dropping out of school to pursue a rap career, and even though Pops didn't understand it, he could see Webbie was serious and supported his dream. Webbie moved on from Get Money Boys and signed with Trill Entertainment, where he was linked with Lil Boosie, and the two hit it off and began blowing up at the same time. Savage Life drops in 2005 and launched Webbie into the game, officially under Asylum, Atlantic Records, and of course Trill Entertainment. Stunt number 1, not built for the industry. To me, what held Lil Webbie back often throughout his career was the same things fans initially attracted to his music for. Him being a genuine, real person. The genuineness worked and pushed him since Gimme That, a top 30 song in the country, along with his Savage Life albums that, although didn't meet commercial superstar standards, were underground classics. The realness was to a fault because in an industry that promotes artists able to create a perception of reality that may not be real, a guy like Webbie can find himself a fish out of water and unable to keep up with the different changes in entertainment and the different obligations that come along with those changes. Things like at one point you could be an artist that is seen only when releasing a product, then disappear until it's time to promote something else, or go on tour promoting yourself as an artist. A private life you could get away and not have to offer that up to the world. It's why he doesn't do much interviews, because he knows and is self-conscious about being asked personal questions he may feel uncomfortable in answering, or feeling like it's a trap to get him to say something he'll regret later on. He's a gangsta rapper, but sensitive when he doesn't feel appreciated or given awards/mention for all he's given to hip-hop, which is a lot. Many arguably wouldn't have known about Lil Boosie had it not been for Webbie and the song Independent off his second studio album Savage Life 2 in 2007. He's self-conscious of what the fans in this new social media era will say about small things like his appearance or him always sounding like he's drunk or does drugs, etc., causing him to be recluse more and more, which didn't and doesn't match the social media climate parallel to his career rise. Not to compare them, but Boosie understood how to use social media and interviews and always being talked about, and Webbie went the opposite way. That's why without a platinum album either, Boosie can still do walkthroughs and high-priced features and be relevant enough to earn even off interviews. Webbie had to evolve, and unfortunately, I don't think he was built to evolve how the industry wanted him to. Not to mention, he was also banned from 106 in Park for allegedly being inappropriate towards Roxy, the show host, so yeah, the industry and Webbie weren't exactly a great match. Stunt number 2, work ethic. Which leads me to Webbie not having the output and consistency necessary for an artist like him to get out there and stay out there long enough for the tide to eventually turn his way. Again, it's the difference between he and an artist like Lil Boosie, who took the Lil Wayne Tupac approach of flooding the market with music until they have to listen to and talk about you. Looking at Boosie's discography and the amount of songs, mixtapes, and albums he puts out, sometimes 2-3 a year, it not only keeps him in the conversation, it helps sharpen your skill as a rapper every song, every show. Lil Webbie started off that way, releasing another critically acclaimed underground classic album in 2007, featuring Independent, that was the #1 rap song in the country, I Miss You featuring LaToya Luckett a year later, a top 100 R&B song. From 2005 to 2009, Webbie was everywhere. Had that continued, he would have eventually hit a stride and be able to enjoy his flowers publicly, leading to more success. But back to stunt number 1, conforming to the changes and new obligations, Webbie struggled. Stunt number 3, losing confidence. I also think as Webbie gets older and further removed from the youthful energy he had beginning rap, the more he thinks about how he will be viewed still rapping at almost 40 how he was when he was 19. He's also not just a father, but a grandfather at this point, further complicating the things he thinks and wants to say, but can't because that's just not his life anymore, or intentions to have his kids hear about and see him in a different light. He said just as much in an interview on the 85 South comedy show that he's conflicted being an old rapper and isn't quite comfortable rapping about what he once was and not being able to rap from the dad perspective he has now, causing him to struggle with releasing a project more and more. He's an artist that's sensitive about his work and the appreciation he receives for it. Because he's not given that, I think he lost that confidence he once had. He attempted to come back in 2020, releasing an album, Savage Life 6, October 16th, after a long year that began with he and Boosie's back and forth on social media, where Boosie asked him to look in the mirror and blame himself for his downfall in rap by doing things like skipping shows, not doing interviews, features, or promotion. That seemed to cause Webbie to be even more to himself and maybe even content with the life he's built, which is fine if it works for him. All in all, Webbie is still a legend in Louisiana, and like Boosie said, the industry and fans do respect Lil Webbie and his contributions. I've always enjoyed Webbie's music even more than Boosie, but what Boosie lacked in that department, he made up for in hustle and consistency. For these reasons, Lil Webbie's growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.